Good afternoon. Before we begin Mass, I would like to take a few minutes to talk about masks or no masks. As you probably heard last week, the CDC put out a notice that people who are fully vaccinated don't need to wear masks and don't need to social distance with other people that are fully vaccinated. That news created quite a stir and brought about all kinds of different advice from all kinds of different agencies. Just to give you a list, there is advice that's coming to us from the Archdiocese of Detroit, from 3 departments in the Archdiocese of Detroit. There's advice coming from our governor. There's advice coming from Health and Human Resources of Michigan. There's advice coming from the Michigan Occupational Safety Department, and certainly from all kinds of other people that are in the medical profession. The bishop has given pastors the option of deciding what to apply to their particular circumstances. And I think that's the important part that we need to understand in this whole issue. Not every part of our state, not every part of the United States is in the same position. There are hot spots. Michigan was one of those just a couple of weeks ago. And right from the beginning of this virus, we have had one goal in our mind: to provide a safe environment for people to come to worship, even though worship services were listed as one of the top 10 places where you can catch a virus. Fortunately, during this past year, as you know, we began in-person masses last Memorial Day. We opened our building last Labor Day, and fortunately in that year's time, there hasn't been a single case, at least none that was reported to us, of someone catching the virus because they came to Mass or to one of the services or to our preschool or to conduct business in our business office. And so I'm very thankful for you for following the protocols that we established during the year. And as you know, we made changes and we will continue to make changes. Beginning in June, the first weekend of June, we're going to increase capacity here in church by eliminating one of the aisles that separates everybody right now. There will only be one aisle of separation. Also beginning in June, we're going to again have outdoor adoration of the Blessed Sacrament on Thursdays from 12 to 4. And we're also going to be doing again outdoor reconciliation. We hope to reintroduce various aspects of the Mass beginning in September. In other words, altar servers, a collection by the ushers, an offertory procession, among other things. We're going to keep this mask thing because there's half of the people who aren't vaccinated, and we don't want to be in a position to decide who is and who isn't. We don't want to be in a position to put somebody in a special part of the church because they aren't vaccinated. And so for the time being, at least, we would ask that all of you continue to follow the protocols that we established. We're concerned about your health. We're concerned about our staff. We're concerned about our preschool. We're concerned about our kids in school. And this past year has been a challenge, but I think that we've fared very well through it. Even though members of our parish have had COVID, and some of them are still suffering effects from COVID, and unfortunately we've buried some of our parishioners because of COVID. It hasn't been the disaster that some people painted it to be. I want to be cautious, but I'm also optimistic. I'm not a pessimist. I'm very optimistic. And I'm grateful for vaccines. I'm grateful that we have a way of dealing with this epidemic that back in 1918 we didn't have. But I would also caution us to learn the lessons of 1918. In 1918, after a year of the epidemic, people let their guard down. And the following year, 1919, was a terrible disaster. That influenza came back twice as bad as it was in 1918. I would hate to see us follow that pattern in 2021. Thank you for your following the protocols. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your support of St. Mary of the Hills.